Luke, how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
And how long have you been homeless for?
I've been homeless for almost 2 months now.
2 months. How did it all happen?
Well, I was living with my mum down in Broadway Market. My mum was the only family I've had my entire life. My mum was a heroin addict and crack addict. My mum passed away due to overdose. I hit very severe depression, lost my job, wasn't able to pay my rent, and ended up being made homeless. I've gone to every council, every charity, and because I'm not under 18, not on drugs, not an alcoholic or I'm pregnant, I'm not seen as vulnerable. I'm not seen as priority in the government's eyes. So I'm basically just being doffed off by the government and left to rot.
I mean, we've interviewed a lot of other homeless people and they've said the same story as you, that they're not in the priority list, and it's a shame because you need urgent help. Luke, so I don't want to go too much deep into it, but I want to ask you, your mum, how long ago did she pass away?
My mum passed away almost 11 months ago now.
Okay, and it's because of that event there, all of this
That
has
I
happened.
started to spiral down, hit depression, lost my job.
And where did you used to live?
Broadway Market, Pownell Road, number 17.
How was your life like before becoming homeless?
It wasn't easy. I had a drug addict mother, I was on my own, I was suicidal, depressed. I just felt alone all the time. I was from work back to home, from work back to home, just all day, every day.
Where did you used to work?
I used to work at ZZ's in St. Catherine's Docks.
Okay. And Luke, describe to us, your first day when you became homeless. How was that first day?
Scary. I didn't know what to do, I didn't talk to anyone, in all honesty, I didn't have any blankets, so I went searching around clothes bins and stuff like that. In all honesty, I didn't find any blankets, but I found loads of clothes and just kind of covered myself over with them. The ones that fit, put them on over the clothes I had, just to try and keep warm and everything. It wasn't easy, it was probably the scariest day of my life, really.
And you told me earlier that you have your missus as well.
Yeah.
And she's been homeless longer than you.
Yeah.
Where are you guys currently sleeping?
Leys Street car park, Ilford.
In the car park. Have you got a tent or?
No, we're just literally, we've got a few blankets laid down and then we've got 2 blankets over us.
What do you find to be the toughest part about being homeless?
Being ignored, not having anywhere to go. When my missus is pregnant, not being able to provide for her and my kid. I'm scared. I'm about to be a dad and I don't know what to do. Because we're out on the streets, we're getting messed around by the council saying we're on a waiting list. It could take up to a month. And a month could be too late. The beginning of the pregnancy is the hardest part. It's the part that is most important. I don't know what to do. I'm walking around begging, trying my best. I'm getting nowhere. I get ignored constantly like I'm invisible.
Well, look, we're here today, and hopefully we can help you as much as possible and improve your situation, God willing. And to be honest, I'm really taken back by what you just said, and it's such a horrible situation to be in. But I want to ask you, what about your family? Did they not try and help you?
My mum was the only family I've ever
She's
had.
the only family. Any friends?
Like I said, I was work, home. I never had a social life. I was always taking care of my mum.
And I'm guessing you lost your job because of the situation.
Because of when my mum passed away, I hit depression. I didn't want to face the light of day. I mean, my mum weren't a great mum, but my mum was my best friend. She was all I had. She was my mum and my dad. So
Is it because of addiction that she lost her life?
my mum took her own life.
Okay.
She deliberately OD'd.
And Luke, since you've been homeless for 2 months, what's the nicest thing someone has done for you?
Probably this. In all honesty, probably this.
So people literally just walk past you, don't look at you.
It's like I'm a ghost. It's like I'm invisible. It's literally the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It literally does hurt, and it hurts to realise I've been one of them people where I just walk past a homeless person, don't even give them the chance, and it makes me feel like if I could go back in time and apologise and give that person a chance, I would. Because I now know how it feels.
So, I mean, you said the toughest part is you know, your missus not being pregnant and not having anywhere else to go. What would you say is the most horrible thing someone has done to you since you've been homeless?
Probably punch me for asking them for a bit of change. And no word of a lie, I got punched. I was in Shoreditch and I literally just stopped a group of guys. Said, "Excuse me guys, I'm sorry to ask, is there any chance you just spare a little change?" Explains my story. And one of them turned around to me and went, "You're a sick cunt," and went smack. Thinking I was lying or something, I don't know. But
without even asking you your story,
yeah,
and,
just
you know, your situation.
Bang.
That's disgraceful. And you know, if you had a magic wand, Luke, what one wish would you ask for?
For my missus and my child to have a place to live.
For them to have a place to live.
Don't care about myself. And they are all I care about right now. And that's what's hurting me the most. That's the hardest part. Is the fact that I'm meant to be the provider and I'm struggling to provide on my own.
If you were able to get a place and you know, have a roof over your head, have some heating in the building, what would that mean to you?
It means everything. It literally would mean everything. Just to know that we may have nothing but each other, but at least we are in the warm, and at least I have a place where my kid can grow up.
What items do you and your missus need right now?
Socks, tracksuit bottoms, jumpers, coats. Everything really.
What gets you through the hard times? And I know you're going through some
My
really hard
missus.
times. Yeah.
My missus. If it weren't for her, I don't know where I'd be. I probably wouldn't be here today, I'll tell you that.
And you told me that she's been homeless for how long?
7 months.
7 months now. If you could go back, is there anything you would change?
A lot of things. How I dealt with my mum passing.
And you know, Luke, it's been really, really cold, freezing weather in the past few days. It's been snowing and everything. How did you cope in that weather?
I didn't. That's the thing, we didn't cope very well. This is cried in my arms pretty much every day. This is starting to feel ill, I'm worried sick. Still not coping now. But I'm trying my best.
Just last thing from you then. People watching this video, what would your message be to them?
Guys, if you walk past someone on the street that's homeless, at least hear them out and give them the time of day. Because it's being ignored that hurts the most. We are human. We're no different to you. It can happen to you, it can happen to anyone, just like it happened to us. Please treat us like a human being. That's all I ask.
Thank you. Well, look, we're here now to help you. God bless you, and I hope your situation improves.
Thank you.
Luke, so you told us that you've been homeless for 2 months. You got a pregnant wife. She's been homeless for 11 months.
Yeah,
we're out here,
7 months.
7 months, sorry. And we've been out here in Ilford. We just have one of our followers from our social media who've donated some clothes to you. So you have this jacket.
Yeah, tracksuit bottoms and a pair of
socks. Is there a
and
message you'd like to give for her? Name is Leah.
Thank you, Leah. It really does mean a lot. At the end of the day, everything helps. And in a cold time like this, it really does. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi Kirsty, this is Luke from Killing Reed. Just wanted to say thank you for everything and thank you for watching our video and helping out. It really means a lot. Obviously,
just taking time, just taking time out and actually, like, you know, taking your time and effort just to actually, like, listen and actually, like, you know, help.
And this sleeping bag in the tent, is that going to make your life a bit easier?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Especially in this cold weather, it'll make it a lot more warm for us, especially. So.
Thank
God
you
bless
guys.
you guys.